think it's kind of pathetic. It's really easy to vote, and it's important.
Well, considering we're in a democracy, our government is of the people. So if I don't say what I want to say, they're not going to listen and they're not going to do anything for me, and then it wouldn't be a government we want to have.
Every voice should be heard. You are an individual. You do, have opinions, and you should certainly, this is a chance to express them.
I don't think it's a good thing, just because, you don't get everyone's opinion on it, and, maybe the politicians need to go better about, reaching out to the different demographics and getting them out to vote.
So it's honestly really, really easy, and it's a way to get your voice out there and heard. And I think that that's really important, especially in this country, because a lot of people complain about what's happening in politics, but if you're not actually voting, then you don't really have a voice or a right to say that you don't like what's going on.
Why is it important to vote? I think it's very important to vote because that is our one opportunity to express ourselves, and especially for the youth. There's so many disempowering things in the world for the youth, and they don't have a voice. So to give yourself that chance, and it's finally an opportunity it's a rite of passage to finally be able to vote and say why you're passionate about these things that are happening to you in your life. So it's really a great opportunity to express that in a formal way, in the way that makes a difference in the law.
It's important to vote because that's how you get your opinions out there. If you don't vote and somebody gets elected who you don't like, you really can't do anything about it because nobody heard you.
We're bombarded by information and media all the time, and if you just ignore that and don't take a little bit of action, then that's just pretty sad.
Certain societal norms are established by the people in power, and if you're unhappy with those societal norms, then I find it very much important that you take an interest in understanding what's going on, how you can become involved, i.e. voting.
I mean, if you think your voice matters, then it's gonna matter. If you want people to listen to you, then people are gonna listen to you. But
well, when it gets right down to it, I decide who's running what. So, if I want something to happen, it should probably happen. I mean, if people want Bob Marley to run Oregon because they agree with his policies, then that needs to happen. Otherwise, Bob Marley's not going to be running Oregon.
I live in this country and I want to know what's going on.
Because there's strength in your voice. If you don't express it, and people don't know what you want, you got to speak out.
I mean, we are going to be the working class of this country in a few years. If there's things that we are really upset about, it really does make a difference.
Because everyone's voice matters, and it's all about everyone putting their piece in.
We are the future, and it is very, very important, especially in troubled times that we're experiencing now, that we become informed and that we become active, because obviously the generations before us haven't done such a good job. So it's time for change. It's time for us to get out there and ruffle some feathers, rattle some cages, actually do something about it.
I think the youth is going to run the government.
Well, the youth are a big part of the population, so laws also pertain to the youth. So when all these cameras. So when there's a law that pertains to the youth and they don't have input on that, the lawmakers don't even know how it really affects them. So unless the youth stand up and say what they have to say, there's no way that the laws are going to reflect that.
I think the youth is more open to new ideas than an older stagnant generation, and the youth is more excited and willing to make some decisions and vote in a way that's a little more progressive.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm gonna vote.
Yes, I am going to.
And I always will.
I am, definitely. As soon as I got the opportunity to vote, I did, and that's how it's going.